Hamas has rejected the newest Gaza ceasefire proposal negotiated in Cairo, saying it doesn't meet any of its demands. Newsmax Jerusalem correspondent Daniel Cohen joins us live as Israel prepares to dial up military pressure in Gaza to force the terrorists to release the hostages. Good morning to you, Daniel.
Good morning, Charlotte. Good morning, everyone. I don't say what I'm about to say lightly. Hamas now appears to be fully in the driver's seat of these negotiations, hardening its own stubborn position not to release the Israeli hostages until there's a full IDF withdrawal from Gaza and permanent ceasefire. Hamas leaders say that the latest Israeli proposal didn't meet their demands, but that the terrorists promised to study it further. On Monday, Prime Minister Netanyahu announced Israel has set a date for the military offensive in Rafah, where 3,000 Islamic terrorists are camouflaging themselves amongst civilians. Netanyahu says Israeli forces must root out the 4 remaining battalions to keep Hamas from regrouping. The Biden White House says it hasn't been briefed on a date, but the administration is strongly encouraging Israel not to go into Rafah. Listen.
A full-scale military invasion of Rafah would have an enormously harmful effect on those civilians, and that it would ultimately hurt Israel's security. We have made clear to them that we think that there is a better way to achieve what is a legitimate goal.
Hamas has rejected every recent ceasefire proposal after the Biden administration refused to veto a March vote at the UN Security Council that called for a truce without mentioning Hamas, without mentioning October 7th, or even requiring that Hamas release the remaining Israeli hostages. Meantime, on Monday, Israeli authorities reported 419 aid trucks entered Gaza, the most in a single day since this war started, up from a previous high of 322 on Sunday. Also, 258 aid packages were airdropped into the Gaza Strip Monday. The latest rejected ceasefire called for the release of 40 Israeli hostages on humanitarian grounds. But get this, Hamas says it has no ability to produce 40 women, elderly, children, or sick, calling into question how many of them are actually still alive. Meantime, Charla, as Israel waits for a possible strike from Iran as Ramadan ends today, a new report in the London-based Elaf News says Israel is prepared to strike back at Iranian nuclear facilities. Charla, back to you.
And Daniel, when Hamas says it has no ability to free those women and children, is there a real fear amongst those in Israel that those 40 hostages may be dead?
Yeah, that is the fear. We just had the 6-month mark. We don't know how they're doing. They have not been visited by the Red Cross, except for when we've had these hostage releases that happened in November, right? So we don't know how they're doing. And I'll just remind you that the youngest Israeli hostage is a 1-year-old baby who spent almost coming up on half of his life in Hamas captivity. I believe the oldest is an 86-year-old Holocaust survivor. So we don't know who's alive. We don't know their status. We don't know if they're injured. We don't know who needs what. But we just passed the 6-month mark, and that's why we're seeing, and why you've seen here on the news, Israelis definitely becoming restless with the situation.